And we're live. Hello. How are you doing today? Okay, today is Thursday, October 13th, 2022. All right, so I'm just gonna do a brief intuitive card reading today with this deck I really like. How has your week been going? I know it's been a while since I haven't hopped on here to do a card reading. I don't know. I've been busy doing other stuff. I've been preparing a trip as well. Really excited about. I'll be sharing more on that very soon. All right, so let's see what messages want to come through for those of you tuning in today. And yeah, I mean, I still want to do card readings. It's just that, I don't know, for some reason, I feel like my attention is needed elsewhere right now. So, okay, let's see if we have one more. We got two that came out so far. Usually I do, 2 or 3 from each deck. I've seen people do like 20, like from one deck. I'm like, is that even necessary? I mean, cards are pretty good visuals for things that we kind of already know. It's kind of like confirming, in a way. I like it because it's a visual confirmation of things. I guess that's it. Nothing else wants to be said. Okay, well, and yeah, so we got peace right here and thinker. She's got wings. I really love this deck. Yeah, so it seems like maybe a few of you have been thinking a lot, of course. Maybe overthinking. We're prone to doing that, aren't we? Yeah, and it's like this, the search, I guess, is what the word that's coming to mind, perhaps, the search for peace, but you really want to find that peace within. And maybe sometimes you feel like you find it and you feel it, but you're like, why isn't it more constant? Why can't I really experience that peace all the time? And yeah, so it's like the message here would be to pay attention more to those emotions. I don't know, this for some reason, there's like little hearts right there. You see them? Those just caught my attention right now. So, oh, hey, Manuel. I haven't been on here for card readings much, but yeah, I'm just doing a really short one today. So I was saying that this one, it seems like there's some emotional stuff that you might be dealing with. So yeah, definitely pay attention to that. And this has been coming up a lot lately of how we tend to sometimes even unconsciously suppress certain emotions because we consider them to be like in the lower spectrum. And this comes up a lot in mainstream spirituality. It's like, oh no, those feelings, you shouldn't even be feeling them. It's like we feel bad for feeling those things, right? And we seem to be wanting to climb up always, like to enlightenment and to joy and peace. So yeah, peace, right? And we feel like this is like something that's higher up, but in reality it's all inside. Like, start going more within instead of trying to climb up. That's not really where we're going. And yeah, everything really is within. I mean, and this is stuff that like it gets really intricate because with what I've been looking into and the episodes I recorded with Jay at Starfire Harmonics, there's like so many layers to creation, and I've felt that even before, but it does get really, really complex. But at the same time, it's very simple. And oh yeah, thank you. Lots of hugs back to you. So yeah, like I was saying, everything can be so complex yet so simple. And so why overthink, right? When you're too much in your head, then it seems really complex, right? So this to me, now that I'm looking at them both, these are the only two that popped up, by the way. I wanted to get a third one, but it just wasn't coming out. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to focus on these two because it seems like it's important to really find that mind heart balance, right? It's so cool because I was actually talking about this with Jay. how it's some people do tend to focus more on like the mechanical aspects, the code that are being brought in, the mathematics, all of that is very important. And that's more like a logical thing, or like more like a, yeah, someone more that's maybe a little more introvert might be working on, depending, like, I mean, it's nice to see like the different kinds of I guess personalities, that are bringing in different things and different frequencies. But you do tend to have the people that are more on this side, and then the people that are more focused on like the emotional aspects of our I guess, yeah, evolution as a collective. And I feel like these two groups need to come together more. There is an emotional aspect to our personal path work or inner work or shadow work. There's also a more mechanical, more logical aspect. There needs to be more of like these groups working together a little more, because what we're lacking in, maybe the more logical aspect and what codes we're working with and how we understand energy to flow and reality to manifest. That's a very good thing to know. But then these people might be lacking a little bit more of like the emotional aspect, right? How to deal with their emotions and how to express themselves, or how to, yeah, get rid of certain attachments that they might have that they might not even be aware of, or that are difficult to get rid of because of how, yeah, how it gets intricate, like I said, depending on where your perspective is at and what you're working on. And like I said, there's so many layers to this reality that at some point it just, yeah, it can get really tricky. So yeah, I mean, it's really cool to see that. I feel like, personally, and at least in my reality, I do see this happening a little more, like people getting together and working on things. And especially me, I really like to work with different people depending on what resonates at the moment. But yeah, it's like, yeah, exactly, we need to, yeah, merge them together, yeah, and help each other out, right? What one might be lacking, the other one is really really good at, and the other one might be good at it as well, but like, it's not at the same level, or yeah, there's like a puzzle piece, right? It's like, I like how it feels like we're putting the puzzle pieces together in different aspects of this journey, right? It could be, yeah, it could be in terms of the maybe the techniques that we're doing, or sometimes, yeah, like maybe just what we're teaching each other, what how to do, for example, shadow work. And what else was I thinking about too the other day that's important? um yeah, I mean, all these things, there's just so many things that we can do to tap into that potential that we all have, that our highest potential, right? So yeah, that's the message I wanted to come through today, in terms of, yeah, shadow work and healing and all that. Yes, we're all students and teachers at the same time. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's for me, it's been a lot about not thinking too much about what others are doing and what they have accomplished, and compare it to what I'm doing. And sometimes we're like, oh, I haven't done that yet. How come I haven't done it yet? Well, you're where you're supposed to be at right now. First, focus on the foundations, right, of your inner work. Don't try to skip steps or anything. Those people are there in your reality because they're meant to inspire you in a way, right? And then, or maybe teach you what's not meant for you as well. So, a person that looks super evolved spiritually might be bringing in something that's completely not aligned with who you are. So that's also part of the learning, right? Sometimes I've been in situations where I've put it on pedestals people that later on I was like, oh man, what was I even thinking? So it's like, nope, focus on your journey, more than anything else. The other people are there, yes, some are good to learn from, others are more of a distraction or noise. um, so it's like fine tuning that, your intuition, to see what is really aligned with who you are here to be. And other people might be doing other stuff that looks pretty cool, but that doesn't mean that you have to absolutely be part of that. Sometimes when we're like, I'll give you a clear example. One thing that was like, yeah, it is funny, huh? I was like, for example, I wanted to channel beings, right? I saw people like when we do that channeling stuff, and it's like they're literally bringing in another being into their body. They're being occupied by another being, and I'm just like, wow, that sounds interesting. I kind of want to try that. And somebody told me, yeah, you could probably do it. And I was actually trying to do that. And later on, I don't know if you guys know this, but I found out that that's actually not a very good idea. Like, just energetically speaking, and what happens with your body when you let another being take over it. And then plus, there's, some beings are not to trust. Some look very advanced and like they're very trustworthy, but in reality, it could be an entity in disguise, or a being that doesn't have your best interests at heart. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm actually glad I didn't have the capability of channeling. Plus, at that time, I would have probably brought in, in French, we say tout et n'importe quoi, meaning like whatever, like just whatever being, like that would have been so bad. So now I'm not interested in that. And I'm happy that that never happened, right? So I was wishing for something that was not even really aligned with me. So yeah, and then yeah, of course we learn new things, right? So sometimes we do have to experience it and make mistakes. Other times we're just not allowed to do it. It's just like, no, plain no, that's not for you. So that's why I'm never upset when things don't go my way, because, or maybe I'll get upset for a little bit. I'm like, I wanted to do that. But then I'm like, well, that just means there's something better coming. And if it's not right now, it will happen later too. It could happen later on as well. Like maybe there's just something that you have to unlock within yourself for it to happen, or work on something. So always keep that in mind, right? It's not also about abandoning everything that you can't do, but just keep in mind, okay, well, I want this now. Let's see. Maybe what can I do to make it happen, and start taking those little baby steps, right? But then at some point, you've got to also listen when the universe keeps telling you no. It's like, okay, fine. Fine, I'll just move on to something else. So, yeah. Anyway. Okay, well, I hope you liked it. So, yeah, these two cards, right? That balance between the mind and the heart. Yeah, you're a little stubborn. It's like sometimes it's good, to be stubborn in a way if you really want something. And this is interesting because I actually just said this in the podcast episode I recorded, is that if something actually feels really good to you, the event itself and everything involved, and then you get like obstacles, right? Sometimes some people tend to be like, oh, there's an obstacle, that means it's not meant for me. Oh well. I would be like, well, feel into that event or that person or whatnot. If you really want it, go for it. Do whatever it takes to get it. And maybe at some point also you might even change your mind, that maybe that person or that situation, you don't want it anymore. So you will naturally just kind of gravitate away from it if the universe keeps putting blockages as well. But in the moment, if you feel into it and you really want to do it, it feels good, then it will probably happen if it's really meant for you, if you just keep going, right? Otherwise, I gave an example as to like I was planning a trip, and then all of a sudden things started happening where I was like, oh, there's this, maybe, okay, well, I'll get over that. I'll try to like find a way. And then another thing happened, another thing. I'm like, yeah, let me feel into it, right? I was like thinking, well, actually the only reason I want to go here is because of the people that I'm going to meet. It's not really the place. Well, the place is amazing, but I think I can see these people elsewhere. I don't have to be in that other place. So I was like, well, that makes sense. And plus, for the resources that it was going to take me, I was like, no, I'd rather put these resources somewhere else right now, where I'm more needed. So I think that was a wise choice on my behalf, because before I was really going with the emotion of it, right? I was really excited about it. And I was like, oh yes, I have to make it happen. But then I realized that there was another way, right? It's like I can't see these people still. I don't have to be at that other place really far and jump through all these hoops to be over there. So anyway, yeah, that's the thing, right? It's like when I was focusing too much on like, yeah, the emotional side, and like I'm really excited about going there. But why, right? Like the logical side. Why do you want to be there? Is it really because the place you need to like anchor in energies or do grid work, or is it because you just want to have fun with the people? Like, you don't have to be there. So yeah. Anyway, just to give an example. Oh, you're welcome. You're so welcome. Yeah. So yeah, keep feeling into things, and obviously, like, find that balance, like I said, and sit with it for a little while. When you don't have clarity, just step out of it. Stop listening to what people say or try to convince you of. That's just kind of a distraction in a way. So go within, and then come back and be like, okay, now from a calm place, I know what's best for me now. you know yeah. All right, I've got to go, but thank you so much for joining, Manuel. I will see you very soon. You too.